Raw debuts on Netflix on Monday night, the 6th of January, or Tuesday morning, the 7th of January for those of us here in Western Australia. And it looks like the WWE is going to go all out for this one and make it as grand as possible. Some are even going as far to say that this could be a WrestleMania-like production for a Raw show. Given that this is being held in the Intuit Dome in Los Angeles, they will have every chance to use the latest in arena technology to make sure that this show looks amazing. And to help us out here at the Aussie Cousins Wrestling Show, please make sure you click the subscribe button and like the video if you like a little bit of Aussie charm to your WWE reviews, and for this one, previews and predictions. First up, let's discuss what is being billed as a tribal combat match between Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa. And at one stage, I imagine this was probably mooted for a WrestleMania match down the line. However, Solo Sikoa hasn't quite gotten to the heights as the self-proclaimed tribal chief, so I imagine there are probably many other combinations with Roman Reigns and someone else that they'll be looking for ahead of Solo Sikoa. That's why this one has been brought forward to the Raw on Netflix debut. Solo and his bloodline, which is just Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu, with the other two currently injured, they did get the win on Friday Night Smackdown over Sami, Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso, or as I like to call them, the extended Usos. But we know how things work in wrestling, that if you get a big win on the show before the big match, generally you go on to lose the big match. So I fully expect that Roman Reigns is going to be the one to get the win here, and he's going to get the Ulafala draped on him by Paul Heyman. However, there is the spectre of a certain man who used to be known as Rocky Maivia hanging over this event. If this match was going to be booked as the main event, I think it would almost be a guarantee that The Rock would come out at the end of this match. Even though it's not the main event, I still think it is going to happen, and I think that is going to set up some sort of program between Roman Reigns and The Rock down the track headed towards WrestleMania, which for me, I think is the best way to do it. That leaves the World Heavyweight Championship and the WWE title out of the picture for Roman Reigns and The Rock. I don't think they need that in their feud. My cousin here at the Aussie Cousins Wrestling Show, Mikey Spence, he is also picking Roman Reigns to get the win and for The Rock to come out the end to try and set up something with Roman Reigns. Moving on now to Drew McIntyre versus Jey Uso, and Drew is going through his hit list of people who helped out CM Punk during the War Games season. I personally don't think it would make any sense if Drew McIntyre got the loss on this occasion, because if he has a hit list that he needs to go through, just having a random loss in the middle of there is just going to completely derail that. However, I can see a way that Jey Uso does actually get the win with probably some help from Sami and Jimmy getting a little bit of revenge over Drew McIntyre after he took them out. But I still think the Scottish Warrior is going to get the win on this occasion. Now, Mike is also going for Drew McIntyre to get the win on this occasion, and he's going for something that I didn't quite think of, which is unusual for me for this kind of thing, and he is going to suggest that Kevin Owens, the real WWE champion, as he likes to call himself, is going to come out and help out Drew McIntyre as they have a bit of a partnership forming on Smackdown. The New Day will be taking on Rey Mysterio and a partner of his choosing. And if you have a look at the show last week, obviously it's teasing that one of the LWO brethren is going to be partnering Rey Mysterio, most likely Dragon Lee. But we know now that that is almost certainly not going to be the case. It looks like it's going to be the debuting Penta, El Zero Miedo, that is going to be partnering with Rey Mysterio. And this guy is going to wow some WWE fans with some of the incredible stuff that he does. For me, this is an interesting booking choice. I can't see a newly turned heel New Day team getting a loss on their first big match, but I also don't think Penta should be losing in his first match in WWE. So here's what I'm going for, something a little bit different. I am going for Rey Mysterio to choose Penta as his teammate, and then Penta actually goes on to turn on Rey Mysterio and become a mega heel in WWE. If you've seen some of his stuff in other promotions as a heel, he is insane, whereas this keeps Rey Mysterio strong, and this also keeps the New Day with a winning start in their heel turn. Mike, however, is going for a straight up win for the Luchadors of Rey Mysterio and Penta El Zero Miedo over the New Day, with Big E coming out to distract the New Day for Rey and Penta to go on to get the win. Liv Morgan will defend her Women's World Championship against Rhea Ripley, the Aussie Rhea Ripley, as you can see I have on my shirt from the Elimination Chamber in Perth in 2024. I'm tipping Rhea Ripley to get the win on this occasion. This is probably more hope than it is anything else, but I think she should be one that gets the win against Liv Morgan and gets her title back, setting up some sort of feud with whoever wins the Royal Rumble. or the Elimination Chamber coming up in the next couple of months. I think this will then end up being the start of the implosion of the Judgment Day. I don't think they should be hanging around too much longer. They've had a couple of incredible years on Raw, and they have been wonderful for the business, but I think it's probably time for them to go. And it looks like in this match, there is a stipulation that the loser will need to be banished to SmackDown. So I think that will then fuel that breakup of the Judgment Day, with Liv Morgan being the one to go to SmackDown. Mike is doing something a little bit different. He is going for Liv Morgan to get the win, which means Rhea Ripley will be going to SmackDown. And then I imagine some sort of feud between Rhea Ripley and Tiffany Stratton, possibly heading towards Mania for that belt. Meanwhile, a returning Charlotte Flair will come out to confront Liv Morgan, is his prediction at the end of this match, which will get a massive pop from the crowd. She has been away for over 12 months now. Speaking of some big names coming back, it appears that Becky Lynch is going to be coming back onto this show, which is just wonderful. She is one of the greatest women's wrestlers of all time, and I would very much hope that she announces herself for the Royal Rumble, and then she either goes on to win it, or she is one of the last to be thrown out. And as we discussed before, Becky's best friend turned bitter rival turned seemingly quite nice acquaintance now, Charlotte Flair, looks like she'll be coming back at some point. Whether or not that is on this Raw or in the next couple of weeks, we will have to see. But she's going to get a huge pop, and she will most likely have a big match at WrestleMania this year when she comes back. And of course, we have another big return on the men's side of thing, with John Cena going to be turning up for the first Raw on Netflix. And for me, again, I feel like this is going to be John Cena announcing himself for the Royal Rumble, which I think, look, I think he probably has a big chance at winning that match. If he doesn't, then he will be going into the Elimination Chamber, and I think it's going to be one of those two that he will end up winning. Or they could actually turn this into a big storyline where he gets so close and probably is the second last in both of those matches and just can't quite get over the line for him to be able to get that big title match to get his 17th world title. And finally, we have the main event of Seth Freakin Rollins versus CM Punk. And this is going to be the first in what I imagine will be probably a trilogy of matches. And I think this one is going to go to CM Punk. I don't think you could have Seth Rollins winning on this occasion. They have both been absolutely wonderful on the mic in promos against each other, blurring those lines between kayfabe and reality at times, some would say. But either way, I think Punk is going to get the win, and then eventually down the track, Seth Rollins will get some sort of revenge on him. Mike is predicting the same thing, that CM Punk is going to get the win. And in fact, he's going to say that Seth Rollins gets some color in this match, as a vicious attack by CM Punk causes Seth Rollins to bleed, and the Visionary struggles with his vision towards the end of the match, with blood pouring down his face. But they are just our humble opinions. Please let us know in the comments down below what your opinions are on the predictions for the Raw debut on Netflix. Make sure you subscribe to the channel while you're there and like the video so YouTube knows this one is a good one. And of course, the most important thing is for you guys to have yourselves a wonderful day.